This is a 1997 YZF 600. I got this for the whopping price of free. Previous owner said it has 150,000 miles on it, not just 50. And he was moving to the Philippines, so he didn't want it anymore. It was last registered in 2013, and it's got some problems. Namely, throttle doesn't move, battery's dead, of course, and whatever else we can find wrong with it. I have gotten the motor to crank over. It does do that. And it does light up. I'm not sure if the brakes work or the clutch or anything like that. But we're going to see what it takes to make this thing run. First order of business is trying to revive this battery. It has absolutely no fluid in it whatsoever, so I'm going to fill up what I can with a little bit of battery acid and then fill the rest with just regular tap water. I don't care about it, clearly. So we just got it on the charger. Not pulling any amps, really. Maybe we'll wiggle the clips a little. Just try and get some better contact out of it. Nothing. So hopefully, if we're really lucky, this 2 amp 12 volt charger will revive it slightly. Alrighty, so got the carbs out, and thankfully they have been dry for a long time, so they're not spewing gas out all over the table like many carburetor rebuilds do. They're pretty greasy, grimy, but not as bad as you'd expect for being, 100% seized. So we're gonna blast all the way through them. I'll give you some updates along the way if anything super important happens. Otherwise, it's just going to be a general glossing over of a carb rebuild. Well, I was recording that time lapse and the SD card filled all the way up, but we have the carbs all the way apart. Everything's laid out here, even the throttle blade, I don't know what you call those, pivots. What were stuck basically in here. I'm not sure how that happened. They're pretty sealed. They come with these small rubber seals, and considering these jets really aren't, let's see if it'll focus, maybe not, oh, you can see through that a bit, really not that clogged. You can look in the carburetor bowls where the gas sits. That is a little dirty, but really not as bad as you'd expect. Underside of the carbs, same story. Little like orangish, but really not the ethanol shitstorm I was expecting. Just got done cleaning everything up, except for the other two carb bowls, which are still dipping, but that's no problem. Throttle linkage, by far the most satisfying to clean. Cleaned everything by hand except for carb bodies and two of the bowls. Some things to watch out for. Definitely clean the slides and what the slides go into very well. You want that to be a near frictionless fit. Definitely go through, clean all of the passageways, carb clean in a can, and all of the jets. Number one problem that happens in every bike is that these tiny little jets get clogged. Might be able to see that tiny hole. That gets clogged, your bike won't want to idle. In this bike, we only had one clogged idle air passage in this carb, which is impressive. The rest of everything seemed to be very clean. And now it's going to all go back together. Hopefully this throttle linkage feels like new and doesn't get completely seized. They're all back together, much cleaner than they were before, and most importantly, we have perfectly functioning throttles. I bench synced the throttle. Once we get it on the bike, we'll get the vacuum gauges on it and probably vacuum sync it. But as of now, I think we're ready to go back on. I did shoot some carb clean down into the intakes and just crank it over. And it did fire a couple times, so I have confidence that it'll run at least a little bit. So, got the carburetors on there, airbox is lightly on there. I just force fed it some gas with a bottle. Gonna go for some choke. Yeah, full choke. And here we go. Here, I'm going to have to mount this camera so I can actually use two hands for this.